Hello, testing. Yep, alright. Ignore the ambience, Nintendo, don't sue me. Anyways, this is just because one, I need daily uploads. Two, I want to kind of explain for anyone because I'm noticing that even though I just had my 100 sub goal, I also just noticed that somebody else. So I'm actually at 101 right now. Whoever you all are subscribing, thank you, and I am so deeply sorry that I cannot do at least somewhat content that is funny and good daily to the upkeep that I was at least able to show that I could try to do, at least trying and technically wanted to do. And part of that reason is, watch this. So this is the editing software I use. It's for 4 people, but I specifically use a thing I pay for, so that way there's no watermark in it, and it's clean, and I have, other features. I mean, even if I did it for free, it could be good, but, it's just bad. So if you see this, I'm just going to cancel that out, and then click on View Project. And the big problem is just, how do I put this? This. I have not paid for it. It is only like 20 bucks. However, I do not have a way of paying for it. My bank is not really in order to do $20 for this for the month. On a normal time, I would definitely say it fucking is. So I'm shit out of fucking luck here. The Sifu videos were, I think, the last things I was able to edit before it canceled. And coincidentally, those are the last things that went up well edited. As in, I recorded all those videos, and again, they cut a lot of it out, so you don't know the hours it took to just get the footage of Sifu, which is also why you can notice my patience is a lot less than it probably should be with the whole. And it's just a game. Well, it stops just being a game when you need footage. You want to get past everything, and you spent maybe 6 fucking hours on that game. So, what you guys maybe think were probably like an hour recording was literally me, like, house sitting one day, setting it up because I had, like, a better TV, and just playing that game for 6 hours on I think the hardest difficulty, on controls I don't know, on the Switch, where there's a natural fucking delay, and me being a naturally stubborn person, where I refuse to learn the easiest dodging mechanic, and instead want to parry everything, which sucks because not everything can be parried. And yet, even those attacks, I choose to parry. As I just get my fucking shit kicked in. But, this thing is not paid for. I am also currently in the way of trying to pay for it. Yep, see, you cancel that, it just cancels outright, because, you need to pay for that. You can also pay for yearlies, by the way. It's not like Adobe, though, where you pay fucking, I think it's like $400, and then you get towed it permanently. But it is good. It's what I use. It is simple as well. Another thing is, if I can open up Blender real quick. This, I'm hoping it does load. Yep. Alright, let's wait for it to render. So that way just everyone just kind of knows how my life has been anyways. So what you are seeing right here is basically the layout of the place I stay in. Not now. No, as in, this is my place. I pay for rent. This is $950 a month, by the way. To anyone who's wondering. And to a lot of people, that's a slam-ass deal. What you're not seeing is the water damage, the leak damage, all the fucking moss growing fucking everywhere. The vines are absolutely attached to everything. These windows have glass, but it's all rotten on the edges, which means you can probably just go and pop it out. There's so many things. It's literally that meme of cardboard box still being $500 a month. But I will be honest. Compared to everything else, I can afford it. Therefore, it's good enough. Maybe I'll do a house tour or something when I actually get everything moved out. But the problem is, I'm staying at someone else's while I am in the process of getting all the paperwork ready and then moving over to there. So the problem with making videos for a while, anyways, is I just need to pump out a bunch of garbage real quick so I can get the daily streams going, the daily uploads, because I'm gonna wait for the Zelda music to shut the fuck up. Thank you, Zelda music, for shutting the fuck up. The problem is the place I'll be going at will not have Wi-Fi for maybe at least a month as I try to get, the people there, setting it up, getting the wires in, paying for it, and then arguing with whoever the fuck's trying to fuck with my place. So it's gonna be a process, obviously. I think anyone who's ever moved can understand. It's a very lengthy process. When you go somewhere, you gotta unpack, you gotta make sure all the water, electricity is working and on, then they gotta, if there's anything fucking wrong with it, carpet, you gotta clean that shit and rip it out and put everything the way you want it. And then you gotta make sure your work also knows that your fucking location has changed. And then you also gotta get the internet, and it's a hassle. That's bottom line. It's a hassle. So as of right now, I have essentially been living someone else's while I'm currently packing up my stuff, waiting for the paperwork to get done and everything signed. And right now the landlord is cleaning out the place. Very nice of her. So that way, it's just nice. And then I go in. First month will be paid off, and then I, need to work a lot harder to be able to pay the rest of it, because it's still a lot of money, and I do not get paid that much. Even though I have 9-hour shifts, that doesn't pay as much per hour, and I only have 3 of them a week, with maybe extra shifts, which I am hoping for, given the fact that I am at a place that's closer to my work, so now travel is not as expensive, extremely closer. But because of that, I will obviously be a little less. I'll still have free time, but then there's also 1,000 other things I'm trying to do other than just this YouTube. This YouTube is like my hobby. It's like, it's a thing I do because I legit want to try to create things for everyone. And fucking Zelda music, I will pause you and make this sound much worse than it is. Thank you. All right, so. For instance, I've recently done dating apps because I am that fucking sad of a person. I do like people. But yeah, I have that going. I'm trying to get the rent going. I'm trying to make sure I get all my shit into there. I also want to see if I can actually work hard enough not just to pay the rent and my monthly expenses like phone bill, internet, and food, obviously. But I also want to make sure I actually have enough for savings and a decent amount of it. Because if I have that, then I can get a new computer. Because if I can get a new computer, it's going to be, all of a sudden I can just edit more better videos better. No, what you're seeing right here is Blender. This Blender, I'll give you an example actually right now of what I'm trying to make. Because I've been trying to make a video game. So here is all the houses. This is a base house. Not all of them are going to look at this, but it's basically here models of the house basically where it's just slightly tweaked, and then you put maybe only 6 of them will use, but they'll all be put in entirely different towns all across the map. So this one is a work in progress, and then over here, just some base houses. It's not the final product. It's not what all of them are going to look like. It's just for default cities. Some of them are, of course, it may not look like much, but I mean, for instance, this is a trick you may see in a lot of games, is, hey look, it's all just the same. Watch this. You're about to see some peak game dev shit. Oh my god, look! It's a completely different neighborhood! Look at all this! Look at these 4. All of a sudden, it's different. And by the way, your favorite AAA games do this tactic all the fucking time in front of your face. And yet, for an example, each one of these tile things right here. Let me get it real quick. You see all these black tiles things right here on the top? Those are all individual. These doors, individual. Except I have them all for ones that are open, ones that are closed. All of them like that. So for the comparison, there's even interior stuff. Because I want people to actually be able to like go inside decently. I don't know, you notice this. In open world games, you don't normally do that if you don't want them to go inside. Like, even the ones that are closed off, you can't go inside, have somewhat interiors because I still want there to be something in there. So just, that is a decent comparison. Oh, and then here's what a tree looks like. You may have even seen it in the background of my desktop all the time because I set it as my desktop. But that's not just some generic Windows shit. No, that's me. And wait, this is real time, by the way. Notice how long it took to load this. This isn't even colored. You want to see what happens when you add the coloring and lighting? This is the software crashing, trying to understand color. For trees. For trees. This is how bad my computer is. And I want to make a big open world game, and I can't. When like 7 trees can crash the system in Blender. If anyone has ever tried to explain to you the difference of making something in Blender compared to making something in an engine, they'll tell you that an engine might be able to run and, like, you know, process things better than, you know, Blender, because Blender takes a lot of time trying to render. While engines are a little more fluent with it, because Unreal is kind of meant to, like, process everything all at once. Ah, there it is. So here's some basic color. If you're wondering where all that fuzziness is, that's rendering fucking failing as I simply try to move the goddamn computer. In fact, I'm going to press F12 right now and let it render an image. But if you're wondering what it is I like to do all these different forms of creation. This is the game stuff, the game dev stuff for a game called Papercut that I'm currently working on. There's no one else helping me, it's just me. I've tried to get other people to help me if they have any interest. Not just interest in video game dev, because video game deving is not just coding and then making it look... No. Video game deving is everything. Music, sound design, coding, storytelling, dialogue writing, fucking physics knowledge. If your game has anything to do with physics, you see a character jump in a game? Yeah, that's physics, buddy. That's literally rendering gravity in most cases. It's not just shit going up and down like in the old school Mario. It's literally understanding physics. Oh, beautiful. Ah, there it is. Look at this. People may think it's shit, but you need to understand the game is meant to look like origami. It's called Papercut. The style is meant to be origami. I'm really trying to get that style underway. It's meant to have the feeling of things being paper, and I'm just trying to make sure all the models are as low polygonal as possible. Because my god, when I get most of these models done, I'm going to have to do different models of it, of lowered rendered versions of these themselves, just to try to make sure the game will run properly, because of how much I'm going to fucking cram the thing with side missions, combat mechanics, leveling up systems, items, loot, but also specifically lighting system. And my god, because I was recently talking to a friend, because he's always like, well, just do what you want, because he knows a lot more than me about game dev shit. But then I had to ask him, like, what does this mean? Because I know about the animation, I know about modeling, but I don't know anything about the game dev things of, like, what takes up a lot of processing and what doesn't. And then he explained to me that lighting and textures are the things that fucking ram everything. And that here is basic fucking 3D lighting. I don't even think this is ray tracing. I think this is just basic lighting. I'm pretty sure, or at least any high form of ray tracing. Anyways, I don't even know what the fuck that term means. I mean, I do. I have a general knowledge. If you asked me to explain it, probably couldn't. My explanation would be it traces the rays of light and then paints them in real time. But yet, again, this is just basic ass lighting and basic textures. These aren't even textures. These are just the colors you can choose in Blender itself. You could do the same fucking thing in Unreal. Not like shit like this is kind of what I'm trying to, I guess, contrude when I say very openly. My PC is shit, but I'm going to try to do my best to do what I work with. Like this, for instance. I don't think you guys understand just how much I'm a noob at this sort of stuff, but how I'm also not a believer in, well, you have to be a professional to make something good. These trees took me 3 months. I painted, I colored in each individual leaf. I copied the color code, and I proceeded to go to each individual leaf on the tree and paste that color onto it. And remember that the thing lags, so after about 5 leaves, you're waiting maybe 5 seconds fully just for the next leaf. So 3 months on this shitty fucking thing just to make sure coloring works. Coloring works. Just to make sure coloring. I need you guys to understand the amount of effort I put into things like this. And the fact that I am very much limited by situation, money, and what I own. Like a lot of people. I just refuse to let it stop. Even though my PC is shit, it doesn't mean I can't learn how to use the software, because all of a sudden if I can do something like this when it runs like shit, imagine what I could do if it does run. If I was using an iPad, what should that stop me from trying to find some bullshit thing and basically be handicapped and then get something incredibly better, learn it, and then be better overall? Handicaps make or break people, and if you are made with a handicap and all of a sudden it's taken out, you're way better than the average, that's for sure. You know, I mean, hell, the person who made Tetris made it on some of the worst fucking software possible. And yet, it was one of the most outselling games ever. And what the fuck do you think would have happened if that guy, I don't know, was around in the 80s or 90s and said, hey, I'm gonna redo it again, but this time I have better things. Honestly, I think he probably would have tried to make Minecraft. If he had the same mentality. I don't think he had the same mentality after Tetris. I think he got greedy, but... And then here's realistic lighting. But yeah, I colored each individual leaf to give it almost like a personality like real trees. They have different colors. Oh yeah, and there are those trees in the background that are also here. Because there are obviously different variants. So for instance, those trees right there are all maple trees. I'm waiting for the thing to load. Can I move? I'm guessing not. Either way, this brown one and that green one are just, you know, some normal, you know, I guess spruce, or not spruce, but normal trees, you know. Over here is an empty one, you know, obviously. Winter comes around, trees look dead or they're decayed. Over here, you can't see it because I'm really far away, but there's almost like streamers kind of things as its leaves. It's kind of the leaf effect, I guess I'm going for. This one is a pine tree kind of look, I guess. Or spruce, I think. I forget exactly the name. Over here is the sakura tree. So if you look here, these this one I very much like. Just 1 second. Let me go all the way down. And yes, individual fucking colors. So if you look, it's almost like a pink, but it's practically white. And then obviously the other one is just red, and it gives the illusion of the pink stalk of the trees like in real life, and I'm very proud of its effect. Because over here you can see it doesn't look too much. It's kind of scattered. Again, I will be adding more leaves in the base game, but these are pretty much the things that are attached to it. Like there will be leaves attached technically to the tree, but not really, and branches that are attached to the tree, but not really. And those ones will move to the wind to give the effect of like wind and movement. But this is basically like the base model of like, these are the things that don't move. So these trees are like incredibly empty compared to what they're actually going to be done in game. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Otherwise they might not, just due to processing. But if you look, it's all just white and red, and yet from afar, it can give the effect of being pink. It's very slight. Very elegant. I was very happy that I took, when you take inspiration from real nature, it's easier to replicate it. Because I think I want my game not to replicate nature. Obviously not. The game is literally, based around origami. But I almost want it to be almost like an appreciation of it, a nod to it. Anyways, another thing is, my inspiration also for the gameplay would be obviously combat and a lot of side mission kind of stuff, obviously, in somewhat dialogue, but not really in loot. I guess you could describe it as a Souls-like, but its combat is nothing similar to a Souls-like, so I wouldn't. So if you're somebody who likes Souls-like games because of those things like infinite dodge and timing of what the opponent does, you're not going to like my game. But if you like Souls-likes and the idea of like, it might feel like bosses get harder, then you might. The main mechanic of the game that I always have written down, that no matter what is the thing, is the idea of when you die, it's pretty much put on the main concept of, I don't like how in games, whatever loot you have, instead of your skill, is kind of what lets you win or lose. And so the basic form of the game is basically the idea that your gear should not equal you being able to win. Pretty much, to put it bluntly, every boss can kill you no matter what gear you have on, as much as you can kill them with having literally no gear. But if you die at any point with whatever gear you have that is so overpowered, that enemy takes your gear. You lost your gear. That gear is now that opponent's. Whatever stats you had goes on to them. Whatever. I mean, if you, I guess, learned any, like, moves, think combat moves of, like, oh, well, I learned how to do, like, it does this attack after a block or parry. You can keep those, I think. I forget. I'm not too decided on it yet. But it's because I want the base combat to be so fluid that you don't really need to go into other things unless you just genuinely do it for, like, the fun of it. But because of that, I also don't want them to be so overpowered where it's like people rely on them. Because if you rely on, let's say, a mechanic or a certain gear or level of gear, and then you fuck up, right? You die to an enemy, that enemy now has your gear, so what of? And that's basically the idea of the game. It literally creates a form of uneasiness of, I'm so reliable on breezing through this game because I have all these bullshit moves and I spam this move, and then and then I have all this gear, and yet a lot of the AI in the game are pretty much taught to gank you. Like the literal most basic form, because the AI works in a leveling system, so every AI has a parent in the coding where the AI will take a reference from the first one and then move on to the second, third, fourth, fifth, and it's just like it takes everything in the first one and then adds something new. So the literal first one that they all have is the knowledge of timing and ganks. Pretty much, they're all taught your iframes. So, for instance, if you have an iframe where you're stunned but you can still take damage, they're going to abuse that. So that can make it extremely annoying. But because of that, you know, and they also, of course, have things where like they can only attack at these kind of times. It means that you'll be stunned. They'll all do the most highest attack they can do. 6 people will get you down really low. And all of a sudden, you're kind of shit. And the only reason why you would ever get to something like that is not due to timing, but literally just due to you being an asshole. Basically, you can go at it like a beat 'em up, but you should not just try spamming a fucking weapon 24/7. Like, you will basically be punished for spamming a certain move. Mostly because, you know, if you spam it too much, eventually the AI will literally just gank you and start mauling you. Because yes, I really do want to try to kind of implement that. But because of that, bosses and higher enemies just get more and more harder and difficult. Things like throwing out fakes, having more access to better combos, use said combos, being able to, let's say, understand and kind of read your movements, the similar how you would read another person's, you know, things like that. And I want to try to implement it to where, like, it's not on par with a person, but also, yes, because let's face it, people are kind of fucking dumb, so it wouldn't be as hard as people may think. And then also kind of maybe add like a personality of like, well, this one's kind of like a brawler, right? So they're a little more aggressive. They're not going to parry as much. This one's a little more elegant. So they're, you know, they're going to probably parry a lot, but then maybe not attack as much. Like, even if they parry you, they might not attack you. This one is a little more jokey, right? They just like the thrill of it. They just love seeing you get pissed off. So they might parry and they might fake and they might even attack, but they're never going to go for like guaranteed high damage attacks. Something simple like a slap or a poke, you know, just really trying to piss you off that you can't kill them. But then if you, of course, in these ganking scenarios, go for like a weaker enemy that you know you can kill, even after you kill them, he's probably just going to poke you real quick and trying to get your attention again. The file name for them are called Jokers, and I don't care what anyone says, I'm keeping them in the game, and I will be increasing their AI level throughout the game. They are the best fucking enemy idea I've came up with. Everyone suck me off, fuck you. It's the best idea ever. And I did have to face, I think, one of them while trying to test it out, and they're honestly not that annoying. They're only annoying though, and again, in those ganking scenarios. If you're in a 1v1, they're like, they're child's play. If you just fucking keep beating them, they will eventually die. Like, it's not that bad of an AI. Second though, you have like a literal level 1 grunt who just has like a spear and just kind of knows like to attack you with people. And kind of like, you know, some basic like lock onto, right? Like don't like lose sight, kind of circle around you. Other than that, basic AI. If you go to fight that, these things will just fucking maul you. It's kind of like, you kind of have to keep your attention on them, and I noticed that, of course, when trying to test out different scenarios, they're very annoying with the aggressive personality type on like higher AI levels. Because the aggression one would just keep mauling you, and then here these guys are where like, they could be aggressive, but you can't tell, because they could go from being highly aggressive and then start faking everything just to fuck with you. Their whole thing is literally just being unpredictable. Oh, another thing about these AI levels, when you play the game, you will not know who is who. I cannot just, you will not know what a Joker AI personality is. You could probably tell an aggressive or an elegant, but Joker is basically the boss of AI in my eyes, where it's practically, its whole thing is to do that. And then person would pretty much, and then, you know, then there's also, I'm pretty sure, another personality type that I see as the hardest, which is the purpose one, where their sole purpose is to win the fight. So they're not going to be aggressive when they know that they don't have to. They're not going to, you know, do an attack and not fake it if they know you might go, you know, try to hit the attack. They're not going to be as elegant where they're going to just stand there and just try to avoid all your attacks, but they're definitely going to look for openings. that AI is basically the AI I'm saving for like literally like final parts of the game. Like the difficulty is meant to be a little amped up. You're probably getting somewhat there, or maybe some AI if I want like a boundary setting of like what you can and can't do. But I've been trying to work on things like that, and a lot of the AI can't really work for it in the engine. But I've gotten some base models, like I've gotten the Joker one somewhat there. And I've set it more towards a personality, given the suggestion of my friend, who's also working on the game. Same guy, by the way, who talked to me about the lighting. And he had this Souls-like game where it was robots. It was very cool. If it is ever out, I will gladly post about it. Even though he'll probably make me fucking pay for it, because I did ask if I could just get it for free. And he goes, no, game's $40, pay up. And I was like, okay, man. I mean, he's also so good. He's also way much more experienced than me. But the thing he said was like one of his bosses, their like personality, or I guess their motive, their reasoning for I guess what kind of made them do what they did in AI intelligence wise is they pretty much made it where that AI's thing was not to kill you, but to stop you, to deny you, basically. So you try leaving, it would slam its hand, can't do anything. This is how he explained it, at least to my understanding, because I'm very bad at remembering and listening. And like if you went to attack him, you might take some attacks, but he's going to block it more than he's going to, outright attack you. It's pretty much it's annoying because he has a lot of health and refuses a lot of damage, but he also doesn't do too much, and so it's just kind of like a patience, I guess, or, understanding when an opening is. That's my understanding. Unless it's one of those final boss things that's actually just straight up fucking annoying. But again, never seen the game. I asked him to see some of it, haven't really, but I trust him on it. I have been recording for 32 fucking minutes. God damn, this has just been an ad for the game I really want to work on. But, okay. I'm leaving it off here. All you guys already know me. I'm going to try my best to keep the daily uploads, even if it goes to me basically fucking vlogging. But one thing I think I might do, just because if I need stuff to post, why not just post everything, other than being, I guess, too personal, is maybe I'll record, the house when I actually move in, and unpacking my stuff, and then from there, record me, after I try to get my own fling on it, and, like, patch it up, and have the money, like, install some lights, be a good before and after shot, not just for you guys who I guess just want to intrude into other people's personal lives, but also for me, who may want to, look back one day and think to myself, this is the same person who one day I was 14 and said, the economy is screwed and I might not ever be able to play. This is the same 18-year-old who has failed job opportunity after job opportunity. This is the same 20-year-old who had to live somebody who wasn't in his parents' house for how long, as he just prayed that the economy got better, that he could own a place, knowing that he might be able to just barely do it if he worked hard enough. Yeah, I know. It's a nice feeling. Okay, I see it's now about to become 34 minutes. Okay, I don't talk that much. Holy fuck, I talk that much, don't I? Alright, well, this is basically like podcasts, but, I wouldn't normally say I'm sorry, but I'm not going to. I have 100 fucking people following me, and so people really have they either care or they don't. If you really care about what's been going on in my life, and what's next for the channel, and what's next for Creativity by Grumpy Cat Games, go on ahead. But you can tell by my voice, I'm not trying to do the fucking characteristic of Grumpy Cat and playing a game and shit-talking and all the other shit I do. I'm just being real with it all. Something I probably should not be doing on the internet. I have 100 viewers, and I know no one's gonna watch this, so I could care fucking less, alright?